Did your mom get to see The Chosen before she passed away?
She did not.
No. What would she have thought of it?
Part of her would have struggled with, well, that isn't true in Scripture. That isn't true in Scripture. But I know that she would have been enamored with many of these characters, and she would not have taken offense at how these various people were portrayed. So even though she was old school in some ways because she was old, at the other level, she had prayed enough in her life to know that there had to have been more to God, more to Jesus, more than what Scripture portrays, and our relationships are going to be more human than academic. And so we know that from our own experience, after you talk to somebody long enough to get to know them, it becomes more personal and it's less of a resume.
Right. I think that's what's cool about The Chosen is that it's sort of a common entry point for folks who have been in the church for 70 or 80 years, or for folks who have been in the church for 5 years or less than that, and everywhere in between. It's this, because Scripture is a common entry point, but it makes for really rich dialogue for people of all ages, around this common thing. So, Father Mark, tell me, our parish, Sacred Heart, is investing in this opportunity for people to watch The Chosen, come together, discuss it together, have a community experience. Why did you, as the pastor, think that this was the right thing for us to be investing in and making available to people?
You ask leading questions and put words in my mouth. And by that, I mean, I would be typical of many people where the people that are invested in The Chosen struggle with trying to get even their closest friends to watch an episode of it, to even get started on it. And so my sister was the one who said, well, you really ought to watch this. Well, my mother used to say a lot of, well, you should watch this, you should watch that. And most of the times I kind of dismissed it because I didn't really, I'm always cautious about wanting or desiring or reading or watching somebody else's interpretation of Scripture. And so I think in part it's because I like to use my own imagination and I have my own thought process. And so I don't want to try to read through somebody else's eyes Scripture. I'd like to see it through my own eyes, through my own imagination, as whether or not it's right or wrong or indifferent. And so I was reluctant to kind of get started on this as well. And finally, once I watched the first episode, in fact, I don't know if it was the first episode of the Christmas special, okay, I kind of see where this presentation is using an approach and style that I can stomach. I can like this. I like their approach to things. And so since I was relaxed in that capacity, I watched the various episodes and I'm thinking, okay, if this is a tool to help people to get into Scripture, it's as good a tool as I've seen yet. And so they do their homework. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to be the expert at cinematography or Scripture scholar. They do their homework and they do it well, and they do the storytelling piece in such a way that here you've got a nice little package that you can hand off, which is what we've done, not only as a parish, but as a pastor. I had a number of copies, and people would stop in and they'd be on the fringes and they wouldn't know how to pray. Like, here, I bet if you watch this, it's going to put a different spin on things for you. And so it's been a convenient package, a convenient tool for me as a spiritual leader to kind of help people get invested in a way. And I think in part it's because it's impacted me personally that has given me the complete freedom to say, try it. I think you'll like it.
I think those are all the questions I had for you. Is there anything else you were hoping to talk about today?
No.
Well, thank you.